Alright, so in this video, we're gonna cover and talk about new scopes. Basically, I'm gonna explain what are the different sections of this for, how to use it, and basically when you color grade, what you need to really look at to get proper picture for different formats, outputs, or whatever you do. So stay tuned, this is what we're gonna be doing today. We're working with this little shot that I filmed this like 4 or 5 years ago on original Blackmagic 2.5K. So it's a BMD file. It's a sequence that being converted to ProRes so we can work faster. Anyways, and basically we're gonna start color grading and we're gonna talk about scopes right now. Let me drag this over here. So this is gonna be basically our space over here. Let me extend it. So first of all, how to bring the scopes. You go to the workspace, scopes, video scopes, you click on and you can select between 1, 2, or 4. Obviously I work with 4, I have dedicated screen over there. That way I can see basically everything what's going on. Now, this is probably the best feature in the new Resolve. I absolutely love it. I kind of complained about it a few times in the last couple of years, and I'm glad that team from Blackmagic Design listened to my complaints and they actually fixed it. So now it's actually, you know, it's not 100% there, but it's very, very advanced and workable. So we can change the location of our scopes. Like, this is my setup. This is how I like to work. I like to have waveform over here, and I'm basically displaying only Luma brightness. Then I have RGB parade, also with the brightness. Then my Vectorscope, and my new little color space chart over here. And I'm gonna, right now, go into details. So, let me kind of move this a little bit. Alright, so this is just example. Once you move your footage, once you're scrubbing through footage, you can see things over here change on the side. And basically, this is how you properly monitor what you do. You have the separate screen, you look at it, and you basically know what's going on. Now, my footage right now is still in log. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do one scope right now, okay, and we're gonna do that color range, basically. So this little triangle is our legal space. Basically, everything within the triangle follows within whatever color we're doing. So, for example, if I'm gonna go in the project and color management, we basically have DaVinci YRGB and our thing is Rec 709 and 2.4 gamma. Now, if I'm gonna change Rec 709 2.4 gamma, and let's say I'm gonna do, let's do linear, and I'm gonna click save. Watch how quickly this thing going to change. See? So now the triangle obviously huge because we're doing linear. Now again, let's make it smaller now. So what's the smallest space over here? Let's see. Let's try sRGB. If we're gonna click on sRGB, the triangle becomes much smaller. Basically, sRGB is like Rec 709. Again, let's do something else. Let's do slog2. Click save, and we can see all the range of this. So basically, this is your legal limits. And when you color grade, as long as you have things within this triangle, you're golden. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back right now to, actually I'm gonna go to ACES. I'm gonna set up this one to be Blackmagic Design and our output Rec 709. Okay, and we can see that the triangle kinda shrunk to Rec 709, and basically this is all my color information. Now, let me close this really quick, and we're gonna have this on the side. So right now it looks kind of ridiculous. It's just a straight conversion, so it's very bright. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start bringing down highlights. Okay, so bringing down highlights more. Okay, we can see we start getting details back. Okay, now let's compare really quick before and after. Look at the all the information inside. So we can see that definitely moved it. Now, for example, if I feel like there's too much blue right now, let me actually show you. Let's go to saturation. All right, so it's kind of too saturated, and we can see that the blue going outside the range. And how we're gonna fix it? Very simple. Let's have this thing. I'm gonna create a new node, and we're gonna go something like hue versus saturation. I'm gonna click on the sky, and we're gonna start dragging it down. Okay, let's expand it a little bit. All right, and we're golden again. So let's check it out, before and after. Okay, we can increase it, and we're kind of in a ballpark right now. So basically, this is what this new feature is in DaVinci Resolve, and I think it's absolutely fantastic that they added this, because it's very useful and I absolutely love working with it. So next one, waveform. Waveform is basically, in a brutal way of explaining, it's your luma value, it's your brightness value. And there's few settings over here. Okay, you can select different Y, just luma, CBCR, and RGB. And one thing you need to know is basically the waveform is how much you can see. Sometimes you can't really see that well, just increasing it basically. And you know, in case you want to see those markings, you can increase that. Also, low, very standard from the previous one. Now they added the extents of it. And basically what extent is showing you potential information that it's there, but it's so weak that it's not really visible. So if we're going to turn it off, we can see that this is our basically signal right now. But if we're going to turn it on, we can see that potentially this is how our range is. And I think it's really great. Sometimes, you know, if you want to be completely 100% legal, you kind of can take a look and basically, you know, you're in the ballpark or not. So next one, parade. Same thing with the parade. They added extents, very similar. You can either colorize it or kind of keep it black and white, depends how you like it. You can have RGB or YRGB, depending on your preference. Y basically, again, it's like a luma value. And again, you can have YCBCR, blah. So similar scenario with extents. Okay, so very self-explaining. Now Vectorscope. With Vectorscope, they added really cool thing. Now you can monitor low, mids, high, and basically all of them at the same time. I always do all of them at the same time because this is how I got used to. You can have them combined if you want. It's again up to you. Again, it's showing extent. Basically, this is your saturation value. It's showing where your color technically is. And right now we can see that we going a little bit more to yellow and green. And if I'm gonna move this thing, okay, we can see that technically we are kind of in green yellowish, dominating over here as saturation. Color works a little in a weird way. A lot of times green would be yellow and yellow would be green whenever you're increasing the saturation value. So keep that in mind. That way you're not going to get confused if you're working with it. So again, this is very self-explaining. Let me have one really quick. Vectorscope. Let's close it. Okay. Vectorscope. I guess doesn't remember the settings. Okay. And with Vectorscope, let me create a new node. We can see when I'm going to start dragging it, we're kind of shifting the white balance. And right now it's kind of neutral. If I want to do warmer, we can see. And basically, here's another cool thing. If you're gonna draw a straight lines, let's say from red to yellow to green, this is your legal limit. So if you're gonna go crazy, for example, and start increasing saturation like super crazy, we can see that I start going outside the legal limit. So if you're color grading, let's say for TV or for certain specification, and you start going outside the limit, that's not good. Bring it down, do whatever it takes, you know, different techniques to kind of smash it a little bit back into where it's supposed to be. We can actually see here that I went way up between red and yellow, and actually cyan a little bit here, and we can see on this chart of Rec 709 that I'm doing it a little bit hot. So let me close this and let's see if we can visually fix it. So on the chart again, let's see if I can move it a little bit down, kind of like that maybe, and then decrease saturation. Okay, we can see that I'm not even looking at the screen, but we can see I'm getting in the ballpark strictly just by looking at this. So it's a very, very important and very useful tool whenever you want to do a proper color balance or just monitor, you know, whatever resolution or color space you need to do. So basically, that's really it that you need to know. There's not too much into it. I'm really glad that Blackmagic started adding more things. One thing that I wish that we could monitor what's going on when you go outside the triangle space. It would be nice if that would be either like maybe in red color or something, so we kind of can see how much we go. You know, maybe a lot of times realistically, if it's a little bit, you're okay. You know, if it's too much, obviously you're in trouble. So it would be nice to see how much really will go above it. That way we kind of can see better. But besides that, that's about it. That's the new scope. And I think, honestly, this is the best thing Blackmagic added in this DaVinci Resolve 16. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the following videos. Cheers.